step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood, so I am relentless.
I can hear it just fine.
Yeah, I usually talk pretty close to this, like this.
Yeah, you can move.
Do you really? That's
Yeah.
a style choice.
Yeah.
Wow, you really have the Gucci theme. Is that?
We're branded, baby.
Yeah, but you're like Gucci. Like,
Yeah.
that's how we knew we were going to be friends. Let's start this conversation by talking about Gucci.
Okay.
We hope that Gucci hears this message and decides to put Kim Haines and Alexi Pappas in an ad together. It would really shake up the system for Gucci and bring them into the present in a way that they haven't been in the present before.
It would be a hit.
We should be in a Gucci ad. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm sure they're going to jump on this for sure.
For sure. They're going to see it. Wait, but what is your connection to Gucci? Because you know mine. And I don't mean connection.
Yeah.
What's your emotional tie to Gucci? You can say none. You could say I just like bougie. I like the look.
I went and ran the Two Bears 5K. And at the Rose Bowl with Bert and Tom Segura.
Okay, yeah.
And so I thought, since I'm running a race in LA, I should be wearing Gucci. So I went to the Gucci store in Rodeo and I bought like 3 things that were $4,000.
Yeah.
And I wore it in the race.
That's
my tie.
Stylish.
That was it.
And then you were like, you know what? I'm never gonna actually spend this money, and I'm gonna make my branding
Gucci
Guccified.
themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's so rad.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was fun though. I mean, people like it. The shorts they sold out in like 1 second.
And if you can reprint, please send it all to me.
Definitely.
You know, I have a strong
I know.
tie.
I'm going to get you hooked up. This is the Keep Hammering Collective with Miss Alexi Pappas. How are you?
I'm great. I just had some homemade chili with your family, and it had elk in it, and it was so good. I'm in my favorite place in the world.
Eugene, Oregon. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Why do you love Oregon?
I love Oregon. I feel most myself in Oregon, and I feel like I grew up here, even though I didn't. I went to school as a 5th year at Oregon and then stayed to train for the Olympics. So I think I grew up as an athlete here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I love it. You know, your cells just love places and things. And I love the moss. I love the people. I love the food. I love the moss.
Yeah. We saw some like fluorescent green moss yesterday.
Yeah. So yesterday we were
really pops.
chasing. We were on an adventure.
What? We were?
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, well, we were in the woods and we saw lots of creatures, and that was one of my favorite parts about being in Powers.
Right. So Oregon is like the coming of age story for Alexi.
Yeah.
I mean, you said you grew up here, so it was, yeah.
It's a place also that I heard from fellow athletes that you want to leave before you outgrow it. And I think that's specifically a runner athlete story about Eugene, because I do know some people stayed so long, and I don't think it was the place, it was they stayed in this competitive running environment too long. And then they started to have this like challenged relationship with the place, and I left before I was ready to leave. And so I'm always trying to get back.
Right, because you left like just relocating and then sponsor changes, and a lot was going on in coordination with your leave, so it made it probably rougher, but makes coming back better.
Yeah, it's the best. You come back and the place feels as it should. And
fall here in Oregon is so beautiful, in the Willamette Valley, and where we were down Powers towards the coast. It's just the colors and the leaves and just everything about it. Just the clouds kind of sticking to the Douglas fir up high on the mountains, and it was beautiful. A beautiful time of year, I thought, for you to come here and come back, and this adventure you speak of. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, We're on an adventure.
Tell me about it.
Well, let's see. We went on well, let's see. I have learned, but I feel like I went to like grad school overnight with you in a way, because I've grown up, I think especially as like a Greek person, I grew up, my dad had made whole roast chickens growing up, or you make a big roast, or you have, Greek Easter is like there's a whole lamb on a spit. And I've been in environments where I'm more aware of like, where food comes from and everything, but to be able to peer into your world and learn was so cool, because you're so thoughtful and you're a very good coach. So our adventure began with doing drills and learning like a skill that I've never done before, which was we shot at targets.
Oh, we shot?
Yeah, we shot at targets. And it was intimidating because it's not, I haven't, my sport is running, so I don't have a lot of hand-eye coordination as part of my expertise.
Well, you fooled me because it looked like it translated very well. And you had never shot a rifle. I think it was a shotgun you shot, because you said you just pointed it one time and it kicked really hard. So it sounded like a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like a
right, but years ago, right?
Yeah, it was, and it was very just like it just. Yeah, it was like one random shot.
Yeah, and then so God, well, what day was that? So this is Friday. So Wednesday, you landed. I picked you up at the Eugene Airport, our favorite city, and we drove for 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. We got to Powers, Oregon, just not too long before dark. It gets dark very early at this time of year, obviously, like 5 something. And we met my buddy Kevin Akers, and we went to Joe's house. And Joe is like a shooting savant. He reloads ammo. He builds guns. He's knows inside and out about firearms. And Kevin is very well versed in firearms also. So we used his SIG 6.5 Creedmoor, which is what you were shooting. And you had never shot a rifle. Again, it was just the shotgun the one time. And so we had to start at ground zero on shooting rifles. And tell me about that process.
Well, I think the first obstacle was took me back to my childhood, where my father gave me my brother's right-handed glove before he realized I was left-handed, before I knew how to write.
Right.
And so I'm a right-handed athlete. I throw baseball with my right hand, but I'm a left-handed writer.
Okay.
And what was challenging at first was to just simply figure out which eye and which hand was going to be oriented with the target and with the gun. And I didn't know what to do, because my left eye is the one I would opt for to see, and my right arm is the one I would opt for to handle like athletic stuff. And we decided to go with my right because the comfort in like that felt stronger than my eye for some reason. Yeah.
That was hard because you had a hard time closing your left eye, but to shoot right-handed, you need to look through the scope with your right eye.
Yeah.
If you can't close your left eye, and it felt like that was maybe your dominant eye, we had a challenge.
Yeah.
So I had to hold your eye closed essentially, and then you could shoot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just holding your eye closed, because if I was just hovering over your eyelid, I could feel it, you trying to blink it.
Yeah.
I had to push on it.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to learn this brand new skill.
Yeah.
Fire a high-powered rifle, essentially, doing something you've never done. It's going to kick. You're trying to hit, we had the target out there 100 yards, had a little orange dot on it. There's a lot going on for a brand new student.
Yes,
basically.
and that's how we became closer friends, because you had to really cover my left eye. So it was really it was great teamwork.
Yeah.
And then I think what I learned was, I I told you, but I felt a similar thing when I learned how to throw a proper baseball for throwing the first pitch at the Giants game when I had that chance. Because I'd never thrown like a baseball before. And I remember you have to learn all these individual, almost like a choreography. Mm-hmm. And then you want to internalize it enough for it to be smooth and be like within your muscle memory and your brain memory. And so I remember the next part was learning the choreography of loading and also like situating and focusing and having I learned that the target needs to be hovering, as close to where you want it to go. Communicating, right?
We're talking about the crosshairs. They're going to float a little bit. So controlling that float. We don't want the float going past the target, around, coming back, big loops, right? As long as that float is pretty much on the orange on that, when we're doing that float is minimal. If it's a timing thing where you're just trying to drive by, shoot it as you go by, that's not going to work, right? Yeah. So it's navigating that float. But still, even aside from that, it's a bolt action rifle. So you're putting the shell in, learning what that takes. You got the safety. You got the scope. We're zoomed in or zoomed out, 15 power down to whatever. And then getting ready. And then also it's a 2-stage trigger. So that means you pull halfway, there's a little slack in it, and then you shoot. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know, somebody who's never shot, I was just like, you never know how it's going to go, because people can be very intimidated by firearms, right? Mm-hmm. It's, you don't know how people are going to react, but you were incredible. It was amazing. I shot one time just to see where the scope was. Kevin said it was on, and I hit like just probably 11 o'clock, just barely off the orange. And I'm like, okay. Then you shot and you hit just a little bit further off the orange, but still same 11 o'clock orientation. I'm like, well, that's a great first shot. And then then the rest of the shots were closer and closer and getting better. And just tell me about that, how that worked, that process. That's what I was going to say. You're very process oriented. So you have like this chain of events that are going to happen, and you follow them very well, very rigid, very, it's like thinking about everything very deliberately. And it was beautiful. But explain that.
Yeah, I think there's this is where I kept saying, I think there's something about either growing up as an athlete or being an athlete where if matched with sports or movements, because it's not just sport, it's movement, body coordination that feel, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess really what it was familiarizing myself enough with the new information so that I could integrate it in with the old me who knows how to move and execute on movement. That's what I do. Yeah. Right? That's what athletes do. And so once I intellectually understood all the instruction and I had it memorized in my head, then I needed to put it into play in my body so that I could do it as me, which it seems like this is do you call it a sport? Because I keep calling it.
I don't call hunting a sport personally. Right. A lot of people do.
Yours is it's a way of life.
It's a lifestyle.
Okay, it's a lifestyle. Yeah. Well, maybe it's a skill. Because I need to say I need to put the skill into play.
Yeah, so definitely. Okay. Right. It's a skill. It's a learned skill.
Yeah. So the skill, I understood the steps. You were so helpful for me to understand what the goal of each step was. So that's this is a really interesting conversation about people, everyone needs to understand whenever they're doing anything, what the goal is so that they can make it their own. Even in running training, if a coach gives me a workout and they're not there to proctor it, it's a remote coach or something, the most important thing for me to know is what the most important thing of the workout is. So it could be this workout is speed work. So I want you to go as fast as you can until you can't go that pace anymore. Another workout, it might be we need to go the distance no matter what the pace is. And for me to know that was really important, because then when I was in any step of situating the gun or finding the target, I knew what the boundaries were and what the goal was, so that then I could make it my own. And so in the real moment, I think what was fun. I mean, it was fun to find the target and then have a moment where it was hovering in enough with enough consistency that I could then do the next step. And yeah, it's kind of like you're going on a little, you're doing a little mission every time you do it, because every step there's a moment where you're ready enough to go to the next step. That's sort of what it is.
Right.
And when you're ready to go to the next,
you can't skip steps.
No, you can't skip a step. And when you know, you should know with certainty that you're ready to go to the next step. And I think that was a good feeling for me to know I had almost completed the previous step. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then shooting, pulling the trigger, for some reason, I don't know what athletic memory of mine it is, but it feels very natural to do a 2-part trigger, even though I've never done it. Something feels like, I don't know what other sports that I could compare it to, because I played a lot of sports, but there's some movement where that feels intuitively correct. It feels correct that you're not just like yanking on the thing.
Right.
I don't know if it's like when you shoot a basketball, there's like, I don't know what it is. It's just something about it feels very correct. So none of it, when you're like, remember there's 2 parts, I was like, I don't even know if I would ever do it without 2 parts. I guess if you told me.
Yeah. But I think it really helped by having that, because you could take that slack out of the first part and you had initiated the pull essentially, but it wasn't going to go off yet, as long as you went slow enough. And then and I know in the moment of truth once we get to the climax of the story, I was saying, feel that trigger, take the slack out, feel that. And that made you, in practice, you were very, very accurate. We got to where, which this is crazy, but after a handful of shots, we were feeling pretty confident, and we said, hey, let's shoot at 300. That played out there at 300. And you shot twice at 300 and hit it. First time, I mean, this is after a handful of shots. So that is very rare, that type of success, that type of accuracy, and that type of control on a new skill. But I was amazed at how fast you picked that up.
Thank you. Can I ask you, how does somebody miss, though, if there's, like, what goes wrong? Because there's a target.
Yeah. There's a moment of anticipation where they know what the goal is, as you said. The goal is to hit the plate, okay? They skip the steps and rush it. So either the float wasn't small enough, as you said, it was maybe going off the steel of the plate, or they punch that trigger, meaning they blow through. If 2-stager, that's very hard for people. People get, say like in archery, people rush the shot because they know how it works. They know what they want. They want to be holding the antlers of the bull or the buck they kill. So they know they can't hold the antlers until they shoot. They have to get rid of that arrow. As soon as they want to get rid of that arrow as soon as possible. So a lot of people pull back and shoot, and before they even really aim or do all the steps they're supposed to, the arrow's on the way, because they know if the arrow's on the way, they're sooner to holding those antlers. But there's a million steps in between there they skipped. So you, as I said, you being so process oriented, putting value on each step made that 300-yard shot possible. People learning a new skill don't understand the value of each step, but because how your brain works and how you are, maybe as an athlete or maybe just a person, maybe we can take athletics out of this, how your brain processes system integration, I don't know, or just achieving a goal, you just put very high value on every step. Like each step isn't more valuable than the next. They're all the same.
Right. Yeah. It's like how, I was going to compare it to like a board game, but I'm not going to do that. Where I'm like, you guys, but I think it's, like, it's kind of that mentality of like, be where your feet are, which is how I really try to live my life. It's very hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because be where your feet are means, and I learned that from
Be
a friend of
present.
mine. It means be present. And it's not only, the benefit is not only that you're someone who's present, it's that you do what you're meant to be doing well, right?
At a high level.
At a high level, because you can do it best when you're there.
Right.
And so I think what I'm aware of is like blocking out the past and the future gives you the best chance at success in whatever you're doing and the most enjoyment.
Well, that's rare.
But I don't know why, if somebody learned
I
that.
don't know why it's rare. I'm just saying it's rare.
But somebody could change their mind right now. Someone could hear this and say, all right, I want to be happy. I want to have the most gratitude and I want to perform the best. And this is how I do it. So now I'm going to abandon and I'm going to have the discipline in any moment to remind myself that I had a previous conversation with myself, that this is the best way to be. And then my meditation in life is reminding myself to be here now. The why is something you talk about else time, not in the moment. And then in the moment, it's about the quick reminder that this is the best thing to do.
Yeah. That sounds very logical.
But people could change right now. That's what I'm saying. Is they could just be like, all right, that's what I'm doing from now on. And that's how I've lived my whole life, is I'll learn something and then I'll change my entire way of functioning moving forward. I didn't know it before.
Yeah.
And I think there were things I learned yesterday about myself that I'll take with me that I didn't know before too. And so that's kind of life, I think.
Yeah. I mean, people know what they're supposed to do.
Do you think so?
It's just doing, because there's all sorts of self-help books that tell you exactly how you're supposed to act and react and interpret things. And it's just hard to be, humans are complicated, and you're able to just hyper focus on things. And it should be obvious. It should be easy. It's not very easy. You're very good.
I don't know. Yeah, I think. Well, I was like, we could get into human psychology about it all.
Well, okay. So to take a step back, what I said, or when we're talking about this adventure, I said you're going to be exposed to a whole new world you didn't know existed. Yeah. Was that accurate or no?
Yeah, it was 100% accurate. 100%.
So tell me about this world. What did you tell me about the world you were exposed to?
Well, I had to wake up really early, which you have to for marathons and stuff. But the idea that waking up early wasn't, it was based on orienting to nature was cool and different. And that everything we did during the course of the day had to do with adapting and understanding nature. That was very new world for me, because usually, with running and with a lot of things in life, maybe you just are going anywhere every day. You're trying to kind of do what you're trying to do despite nature. That's what it is to live for most people most of the time.
Nature is usually an obstacle.
Yes. And in this, it can be an obstacle, but it's something you have to participate with. So you need to work with nature, and you need to understand it, and you need to accept it. You can't reject it, because the nature is the truth.
Give me an example of how you accept nature and work with it.
Well, I noticed that you had a tool that showed you which way the wind was blowing. And when the wind was blowing toward us, and if we were following an animal that was upstream from the wind, then that meant that they wouldn't smell us, because the wind would be blowing our scent away. But if the wind was blowing our scent toward an animal, then they would definitely smell us. And so to understand that was an important tool. Very important. There's others. There's rain. There was so many. There's like wind. There were certain factors, right? I could tell you everything I learned, but everyone would learn everything. Yeah. And I think that to acknowledge nature in that way made me feel more connected to nature, because I don't usually pay attention to all those things. And we really had to pay attention. Every step had to be quiet. Oh, I was also, look, I'm talking so much.
I love it.
We had to not talk.
You're the guest.
No, I know, but we had to not talk. We talked in the car. We didn't talk when we were outside because we were trying to be quiet and notice and move and be observant and not be heard. And I think to be quiet in nature is something I'm not used to. So that was a different world. I learned about honestly, so many things. I learned about the seasons and the sustainability of it, the humanity of it. I learned how animals live in the wild versus in captivity. I learned that where you, I thought it was like, I think I get nervous to say it because it's almost like I'm saying that if you do it right, the animal doesn't suffer, and I don't know that.
No, that's true. If you do it right, as I said, humans are the only thing that is merciful and has compassion in the wild. The wild is brutal. There is no compassion in the wild. The animals do not care if another animal suffers. They're trying to kill each other. In fact, the buck that you killed had big jab marks. It had a broken rib, which could have been from a fight because it had many puncture wounds in it from another buck.
And there were 2 bears right there.
There's 2 bears right there also. It's called the wild for a reason. And so when man enters in the equation, and we're part of the equation, man has always hunted. People say, they question whether hunting is necessary or why man would interfere. Man has always hunted, so we've always been part of this equation. And we're the only part of the equation that has that compassion I spoke of. So when you make a perfect shot and you kill the animal with a perfect, merciful shot, there is no suffering. And the buck you killed did not suffer. So that's the ideal circumstance. Do you always make a perfect shot? Is everything just exactly as designed? No, because it's hunting and it can be imperfect at times. Life and death are both imperfect, and death can be brutal. It can be elongated, or it can be quick. If we do it right, it was quick. Your buck was dead in almost immediately, no suffering. So that's always the goal. Does that always happen? No. Thank God it did with you, because I wanted it to be a positive experience. But tell me about, okay, so first things first, we had to make sure you were proficient with the rifle, and you were very accurate. And what I wanted to do, I told you, I said, we're not going to force any shot. If you're not comfortable with the shot, we're not going to take it. We're not going to take a long shot. We're not going to take a shot at a moving animal. It's going to be a shot that you've proven you can deliver one lethal bullet, and we just need to replicate that in the wild. And once we went into the field, then it was a matter of, let's find this animal. Tell me about it.
Well, it was a very windy day.
Is that good?
No.
Why?
It's bad because the animals don't like the wind, so they're hiding from it.
Why wouldn't they like the wind?
Because their senses are disrupted and their equilibrium is thrown off, so they can't understand if there's danger nearby. And it messes their hair up, just like me.
They're very concerned about that.
So they want to get out of the wind because it confuses them. Yeah. And so it was so windy. It was very windy. There wasn't rain. There wasn't sun. It was just overcast and moody. And we did a lot of walking, which was another thing that was new for me, was just to walk all day. And I was still a little sleepy from the marathon I had run a few days earlier, and the ultra marathon I had run a few days before that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can do this. And I learned that if you keep moving, you're less tired. That was kind of a nice feeling. Like every time we were in the car, I was like, I think I'm going to fall asleep. And then every time we got out of the car, I was like, all right, this is what I do.
Yeah.
So it was bizarre weather, I think. And then we just kept moving to different places, and I learned how to use binoculars, which was also another skill that I appreciate having, because I never knew really. It's just an intimidating tool that seems like a prop if you're not using them in earnest.
Right.
And so I felt like I was learning these very specific skills, so many skills actually that I don't have. And binoculars were one of them. And so I would practice I mean, obviously I'm looking for animals, but I would just practice focusing on something really, really far away and seeing how quickly I could get to it with my binoculars. And that was very hard at first, but I started getting good at it. So I had my own little game going on.
Yeah.
And we had these amazing breakfast sandwiches that Ron and his family made. And like, I'm such a road trip girl, and like just sipping coffee and like eating breakfast sandwiches in the car and like listening to You're So Vain.
Carly Simon.
You probably sing the song. So it was so great. It was like so happy, and nature and like moss. And then the weather started to turn and it was raining a little bit. And then.
Was that good?
Yes. The rain is good.
Okay.
The rain is good because the large raindrops form in the woods because they bounce off they accumulate in the trees. And so the animals prefer to be out in the open where the raindrops are less intense. So we got excited and we started just sort of moving to different areas. And then we did see, it was, Kevin saw a buck when we were driving.
Right.
And we got out of the car and it was tricky because it was in the woods and there was a doe, and then it ran off. And then one of my favorite parts of the day, we just walked through like the most lush woods of Oregon for like an hour, tracking an animal. But like, as far as I was concerned, I was just like a kid following you and being super quiet. Like, as far as I was concerned, I was playing hide and go seek in reverse or whatever. No, seek. What is it called when you find the people? Hide and go seek, but I'm in a group. There's a game.
It's called Try to Kill a Buck game.
Okay, in your language, yeah. But I was just so happy, and then I was just trying to be quiet, and like I was trying to move over every leaf and under every stick, like in a more graceful way. So there's like a lot of body awareness.
Yeah, it's like yoga. Like it's so controlled.
Yeah, it is. And I noticed how much you pay attention to everything. And I think I learned a lot just by being around you, how attentive a human can be, right? Because people are so zoned out. Like, I was just in New York City. Everyone is like on their phones, or like they're walking down the street like no one else exists. Like, it's the total opposite. And so to be in the present with someone who is so dialed with exactly what's going on around him was like, it was like watching, I don't know, it felt artistic almost. And then what was cool was you followed tracks. You paid attention to where the river was and what that meant for like, can this buck cross this river? Did he cross this river? Where is the wind? You were kicking over mushrooms at one point, and I thought that you were doing it so we could retrace our tracks, but you were actually just trying to figure out if there were any non-poisonous mushrooms in the woods.
Yeah, you thought it could have been breadcrumbs, Hansel and Gretel style.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, he's so smart, because if we get lost, we'll just retrace the kicked over mushrooms.
Well, you're wrong. I'm not smart. But hey, so tell me about, didn't we have a group of, some might call it a covey of quail? Some people train to win. Others train because there's no other way to live. If you're up early, pounding trail miles, pushing through that extra rep, or chasing an opportunity through 12 miles of mountain, then your fuel better match your mindset. Black Rifle Coffee was built by people just like that, veterans who don't quit, and patriots who live for purpose. Roasted in America, built for endurance, BRCC delivers bold, unapologetic roasts like Just Black, Dark Chocolate, and Waking the Neighbors. Coffee for people who don't skip steps or sleep in. But this November, it's about more than just what's in your mug. From November 7th to the 11th, BRCC is teaming up with Born Primitive and Forgive Co. for Operation Debt of Gratitude. All profits from their website sales will go towards eliminating up to $25 million in veteran medical debt. That's real action for real warriors, not just hashtags or headlines. In 2025, they've already backed groups like Hunter 7 Foundation, Operation Homefront, Folds of Honor, and Team Red, White, and Blue, supporting mental health reintegration and families on the front line of healing. Grab a bag at Walmart, your local grocery or convenience store, Black Rifle Coffee Shop, or head to blackriflecoffee.com and join the mission. Black Rifle Coffee, veteran founded, American roasted. This is America's coffee. Ketone IQ is now backed by research from KU Leuven and Team Visma. Ketone IQ is showing powerful results in helping your body bounce back quicker and push harder, especially in tough, low oxygen conditions. Here's what the science says. Number one, ketones support EPO production. Yes, you heard that right. EPO. That's a hormone that boosts red blood cell count and helps deliver more oxygen to your muscles. Two, they improve blood flow and vasodilation, getting oxygen and nutrients where you need them faster. Three, and also they enhance brain oxygenation for better endurance, sharper focus, and quicker recovery. Whether you're an endurance athlete, a weekend warrior, or just someone who trains with purpose, Ketone IQ is the edge your body's been waiting for. Ready to unlock next level performance? Go to ketone.com/cam for 10% off and 30% off your first purchase.
Oh, yes. The
Tell me about that.
quail. Okay, so we're in the woods. And okay, so imagine this. You're in the woods and we're crouched down now because for some reason, I never could ask you why we were doing anything when we were doing it, but we were stable, like crouched down, and you did the wind thing where you check the wind. And then through the trees, there was I would call it a marching band of quails.
Okay.
And they were tooting along and doody-doo, dot. And they didn't know we were there.
Right.
So that was a cool thing because we got to witness nature without nature noticing us. Mm-hmm. And that was just a cool experience to have because usually I'm like prancing through the woods, like running, and I'm disrupting things. Birds are flying away.
Right.
But these quails like might as well marched over your arm because they didn't really notice you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were just kind of observing and waiting. That buck was pushing a doe. The buck that Kevin saw was a nice, big, heavy 3x3. And I wanted to get him for sure. So we circled around the direction they went through, very thick timber there. And I didn't know if we had got ahead of them or not. And it turns out they had crossed, but that was the tracks that we followed. But in that moment, I just wanted to observe and sit and listen and wait and see if that buck might, obviously that doe was hot, which means she's in heat, and see if he'd push her by us and then we could get a shot. But that didn't happen. But that was part of that whole process, that hour long, that excursion we did. And it's just basically it's learning, observing, reacting to what you witness and trying to anticipate what the animal might be doing or thinking. And there's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of it's instinct. People say, why would one hunter be good and another hunter fail? A lot of it has to do with instinct and reacting to what you observe, and that's hunting. Can
I ask you a question about instinct?
Yeah.
So I always thought you were born with instinct, and I guess you are, but I remember I was talking to Rich Roll, who's like a dear friend and mentor, and I was using that word instinct, and I was using it as if it was something I was born with and that doesn't change. And he said it's learned. Right.
It's developed.
Yeah.
I believe it's developed.
So how did you develop yours?
Experience. Just I've been doing it for 40 years. Yeah. So as I explained to you, I learn every time I hunt still. Every day I learn, every stalk, every walk, every encounter, I learn. And that's my goal. I want to get better. I want to develop that instinct that I mentioned and Rich spoke of. And that happens only if you're open to learning. If you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
And so you have to be open to it, and you have to receive information and react to it, and then at the end of that say, okay, what did I learn from this?
Yeah. Well, you also have, it seems like a strong ability to because there was a point in that specific moment of the adventure where we left that site. So we stopped like waiting and pursuing that one, that one buck that had gotten away. So that was where I felt like interested, because it was like you have to make a decision at a certain point to pivot and go somewhere else, but not feel like you've failed.
Right.
Which is an interesting dilemma for people.
Right.
And I think the idea of success and failure within the scope of a really long day, you have to probably see it differently than failure, because it's not a failure.
No.
So what is it?
It's, what is that? It's you try to take advantage of an opportunity and you weren't able to. And that's not failing, that's hunting. And every opportunity you don't capitalize on.
Right.
That wasn't even really an opportunity. We were trying to make it an opportunity. So it was a pre-opportunity. But yeah, it's just, you take your best shot, not shooting, but you take your best attempt at, getting within range of an animal. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not failing. It's just like, okay, let's cut our losses here, not spend any more time here. At that time, it was starting to rain. And it was still early in the afternoon. It's still 1 o'clock. So we had 4 hours left. And I'm like, it's okay. We had time to do this right now. I wanted this rain to pick up so those deer would get up off their feet, because they had been bedded down. They don't like the wind. They don't like being in the timber. So they were in the units, but they were laying down, and we couldn't find them because they weren't on their feet. I thought with this rain picking up, the deer should be getting on their feet. So yeah, we gave it a shot during kind of a lull in the day. And that's okay. That was fun, and we can learn. And also, I wanted to do that to get. My thought was to get you more in tune with hunting and what it means to be a hunter and what a hunting mindset looks like. And a hunting mindset, if you just drive around and glass every once in a while, it's not being immersed in the woods. It's not being immersed as a hunter and being as reactive as we need to be. So I wanted to do that just to make sure you were punched in on the time clock on, we're hunting. This is what we do now. And then it just makes you, I think it makes you more available to react accordingly when the time comes, because something switches and you're like, I knew you loved that walk, and I knew you loved just kind of being a student of the game. You like learning. And so I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to see how open you are to learning.
Yeah. I mean, I just also, I'm going to be dead ass. I have not seen that many like adult men like crawl through the woods and like go through leaves and like be quiet. Like, it's just like, you're a very unique creature to me. Because I see, there's a lot of like people in suits and like, they're really buttoned up and polite, and you're very polite, but you're moving toward a goal.
Can you be toxic and polite? Because I'm toxic, I thought.
Well, okay, I was also thinking about when we were driving and we were talking about like the necklace metaphor and like hooking a difficult necklace. So like I wear a lot of choker necklaces, and sometimes I can't like hook them on myself, or I don't know if anyone's ever tried to put a bracelet on by themselves. It's very difficult. Yeah. But that it can be hooked.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's not like there's one clasp on one side and not on the other, so it's never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be a connection as long as you don't give up.
Yeah. And I think that I saw that in you, and I learned that from you, and I learned that that's a unique trait to your craft. And there are a lot of things that are like that, and there are things that are not. There are goals we take on that we don't know if they're actually, they could be impossible.
Yeah. And those are fun to chase too.
Yeah, like that too.
But it's different. There was a key part we kind of skipped over, but it was a key part for a new hunter. Do you remember? So we went to the first spot. I was glassing the unit, saw the doe across the way. And do you remember that? Tell me about site acquisition. Tell me about going through the shop process with no ammo. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, I do remember. Okay. Well, it was kind of like a dress rehearsal because you had spotted the doe, and the practice that I went through, or the rehearsal, was really just getting into that athletic stance and that positioning that we had gotten into in our drills practice the day earlier.
Right.
And then the site acquisition is hard because I'm new to it, right? And brush looks very homogeneous. It's just like brown tree, blah, blah,
Yeah.
And so I think that step was like familiarizing myself with finding like a landmark with my naked eye, and then going back into the scope and being able to match it and move toward and find it. And then to practice hovering the target in a way that felt, effective and like steady. So we went, and then you load, and you're like, you do a practice where you're pretending to, and we did that when we knew we were not gonna pursue, and I think that was really helpful because it's like, this is what it's gonna more be like, right? It's not like a tin plate,
right,
against white sky or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So it's more challenging,
right? So I wanted we took the ammo out, and I wanted you to what we'd call a dry fire. And that's essentially, you're aiming like you're going to kill it. It wasn't a buck, but you're going through your process, site acquisition, scope, you got the float on there. Does the float go off the deer at times, or does it stay on his vitals? And then feel that trigger, the 2-stage part, and then squeeze. And I think I said, let's do that 10 times. And it's just a matter of getting those crosshairs on a target. And that is very, very hard for a new hunter. Just finding, you can see it with your eye, you kind of see what you're trying to find, but then you go down into the scope and it's so zoomed in, you don't know what you're looking at. It's like looking at the ocean and trying to find a wave, a specific wave, and it's like, I can't tell where I'm at. But what we do is we back the scope off, so it's less powerful. It's not zoomed in as much. You kind of orientate. I think on that one we had, maybe there's a log pointing downhill. The doe is at the bottom of the log. So you find that log, then you go in tighter on the animal. Okay, now how does that flow look? But yeah, I think that was a very important part, and it gave me confidence that you could actually find something in the scope.
Yeah.
And then that was solidified. We saw another buck we were driving. A forkhorn buck was about, 80 yards off the road, and we jumped out real quick. And this isn't like this is just a gravel road, so you could definitely shoot if you wanted to. But you got on that buck really fast. I didn't have you shoot, but it gave me great confidence that you were able to get that deer in the scope so fast. And that felt pretty natural, it felt like to me, or it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I think I'm understanding that the way that the day feels is like, you need to have it's really not unlike like how you run a really long distance race, except that it's a completely different goal and there's much different physicality. But in terms of like, you need to be kind of in this calm, meditative presence. You can't be asleep all day, obviously, but you can't be like super jacked up and all day. Like you need to be kind of cool and calm and present and da-da-da. And then you need to be able to like focus and turn it on and do what you've been trained to do. And that felt really comfortable for me to like to like wake up the other part of my function. And yeah, I think, I don't know, it just might be like where I am in life. Like I think if someone has a hard time with this, doesn't necessarily mean it's who they are. I think that like you get to a point in life where you can trust yourself to do what you have already learned how to do. And even if you're not an expert, you're expert enough that you have been welcomed to do something. So, I was not, if I was like in a higher stake situation or around people that thought I was an expert, that might have felt different. But I knew that everybody knew exactly who and what I was.
Yeah.
It was like, it felt very honest. And so I was like, I can show up as like my honest self, but not to sell myself short, like show up.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt. And yeah, in that moment, I remember obviously I don't know what's going to happen exactly. So I'm just like following instruction and doing the dress rehearsal as if it's the real thing every time.
Right.
Because that's probably how you learn the best.
Yeah, I would think. I think some people, I've taught people different things, and I've pretended like I know it. There's, you know how when people say, "Do you understand?" You're like, "Yeah, I got it," but you don't.
Yeah.
That happens. That I've done that, and it's people don't generally, I don't think, like feeling inferior or unskilled or you're taught to be confident and believe in yourself, but is there that belief that hasn't been earned yet, and so it's not real, but you're still saying it? Or because being honest sometimes can sometimes be met with, how can you not understand this? Why is this so hard for you? You know what I mean? So it's hard to be honest sometimes. Did you find it hard or easy? I mean, I think what I heard is that you said everybody knew you were new, you didn't know anything, so it's okay for you to say, I don't understand.
Yeah. I have a really positive association with the truth, and a more and more positive as I get older. And I think if somebody has trouble with this, the first thing is to ask themselves, outside of this context, do I have a positive association with the truth? And can I start to believe that the truth is good? And sometimes the truth hurts. Like if you're talking about like a boy doesn't want to date you anymore and it breaks your heart, that hurts. But ultimately, it's actually good to know that, because it accelerates your life and you don't want to be with someone. You know what I mean? It's like, So the truth is good if you keep going. You can't, you gotta keep the camera rolling, as they say, and you have to like play your life out. And the truth is always really good. And in a circumstance where you're in a team environment with one goal, which is like my whole life, team sports, making a movie, team goal, we're all trying to do something together. The truth allows your teammates to be the best teammates to you. And so if you can also trust that these are your real teammates and they want the goal too, then your honesty is crucial to the success of the project.
Right.
And so I think the real problem isn't happening in the moment. It's really having a zoomed out discussion with yourself and maturing and really believing that the truth is good. And that fear of like, oh, you didn't know this, like, I guess maybe don't be in rooms with people like that, because you guys weren't like that. Like you and Kevin were never gonna, or if you were to, I would have been like, yeah, I don't know that. Like, because it's still the truth. And so I'm not going to shame myself if I don't know something that I should have known. It's like, well, I didn't, you know, whatever, now you do. And then, but when it comes to, like, is your scope, are you on the target? Like, I remember you guys, because there's a safety, right? And you always ask, like, are you good? Was that what we said? Are you good? Are you ready? Or are you good?
I don't know. Probably said a million different things.
I was like, I'm good.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I think it was like, you good? Like, can we take the safety off? Like, meaning, are you on the target, ready to go?
Yeah. And when I was, and when I knew it, there's almost no better feeling than actually being certain.
Yeah.
And so I think it's also about talking to people who have trouble with the truth, saying that when you do know something for sure, it's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
And you'll know it when you feel it.
Right. No. Did you think you were going to get a buck?
No, it wasn't my goal, really.
What was your goal?
I mean, my goal was to participate and learn from you. And like, I guess it was a goal because it was our goal, but it wasn't something I would have been disappointed in, because getting a buck or not didn't limit me from learning about you, your life, your craft, the values and the principles. I learned everything. I think I learned 99% of what I was going to learn before that. And so I didn't feel desperate. But I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know, especially because the weather. And you seemed like I don't know you well enough to know, like, if you're like theatrically frustrated. I think that you are. I think that you like the drama of all of it, which I think is an amazing quality because you're really doing it. You're like, it's frustrating in the Hunterly way.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah. How was I frustrated?
Oh my God. You cursed at this buck that ran away from us. You
Yeah.
cursed at the weather. You,
I don't curse.
No, you were using really kind language. We didn't like have like lunch with us, so like we were eating like Pringles and cupcakes, and
Yeah.
I think that was a hard. We like were just eating everything we had. So yeah, you had like a theater to you, which only read as passionate, which was cool. I like being around people who care.
Yeah, I definitely care
Yeah,
about that.
So I didn't know.
Okay.
And also, like, I didn't know how unusual it was how the day was going because I have no reference. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just good. Don't know why this is good or bad or in between. Yeah. Trying to think of. So for me personally, I wanted you on this hunt because you're so unique and you verbalize what I've done my whole life in a way I've never heard. So to me, I like that. That's exciting. I like to hear a different perspective, or I like to hear things that I'm passionate about and I love explained in a way that I hadn't thought of before. And you're amazing at that. So to me, I loved it, but I wanted you to experience the whole part of it just so you knew, okay, we had this goal, we had to earn these opportunities, and then we have to capitalize on this opportunity. And then if successful, the gravity of that situation too. And then on the other side of that, the nourishment we might get from that. And I wanted all of that for you, but we had 2 days, which is not a long time.
And that's because I think they probably know it more than I do, but I thought it was cool. The season is it's short.
It's like 30 days long. So it ends today. Today's November 7th. You got here on Wednesday, the 5th. So we had the 6th and 7th to hunt, which is, and I explained to you, and I explained to Cheeto also, most people on this hunt don't succeed. The success rate on deer with the rifle is 20-some%. So 2 out of 10 people are successful, 8 out of 10 are unsuccessful. And that's with who knows how long they hunt, but they had 30 days to get it done. We had 2, and you had never shot a rifle and you'd never hunted. So I knew the odds were not in our favor. I needed the weather to cooperate. I needed the animals to cooperate. I needed me to make good decisions, and I needed to set you up for success. That's a lot that has to come together. Those are a lot of factors, many of them outside of our control. And so I was feeling a little bit of weight. And then also I didn't want to force a situation, which knowing you now, I couldn't force you to do something you wouldn't want to do or you weren't comfortable with, but some people would. So I could potentially force a shot that would result in a wounded animal. And the last thing I ever want, especially for a new hunter, is to know what it's like to wound an animal and not recover it, and to think that animal's out there suffering and be living with that for forever. And some people, that would be the first and last time they ever hunted, because that's a terrible feeling to know you inflicted injury on something and it's suffering. Mm-hmm. So in weighing all that out, I understand there's a responsibility that I have with taking a new hunter and potentially forcing them to make a shot they weren't ready for, and the animal suffers. And the esteem that I hold these animals at, the respect and the honor I try to I just want to honor the hunt and what it means to be a hunter, and also not disrespect the animals by putting somebody in position to potentially fail. And so I was trying to consider all that while trying to be a good mentor to you. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And you were, and I feel like the person that you reminded me of most was when I was before the Olympics. I'm Greek American. I go to Greece to train, and I was at an altitude camp in Greece in Karpanisi, this mountain town. And it was me and these two boys that were like basically my training partners before the games. We stayed at this bed and breakfast in like remote Greece, where the same guy like owned the bed and breakfast, made our beds, grew all the food, all the animals, cooked all the food. Like he was one-man band. And we ate every meal together with these boys. And then we'd go train. Then we'd eat another meal. Then we'd take a nap. Then we'd train. Then we'd eat another meal. Then we'd go to sleep. And we did that for a month. And this is a month before I broke the national record and ran really, really well at the games. And we ate food we ate like meat that was from this place we were staying. And I remember that because I don't know if I should call him he's a farmer and he's a Airbnb, or he's a bed and breakfast owner. He told me, like, when he would serve the food, he's like, I knew this rabbit. This was a good rabbit. And I thought he was being playful, but I really think he was being respectful. And I really thought it was cool to have this like closed circle experience, and to have a mindful connection. And we took those meals slow. Like the Greeks eat slow. They're thoughtful. And I think you reminded me of that a lot. And then, yeah, I remember you telling me there's a big chance we don't succeed. And it was shortly before we did. And that would have been, it is what it is to me, but I was just sleepy, I think. So I was like, it'd be better to do this today than another day.
Yeah.
I think there's a word you said a bunch, which is the word opportunity. And I think when you talk about pressure, I think the way to respond to pressure is to try to see these situations as opportunities rather than a place where if you don't do it, you fail. So it's really the starting point is you're looking at a bright sun ahead of you when you have a high pressure situation and you're like, I would love to move towards the sun. The sun is warm, it's lovely. But I think you use the word a lot. And so you seem to see this all as opportunity, even if you feel it as pressure. And that's a different way to approach pressure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I never told you we were under pressure, or I was under pressure. I never tried to exhibit pressure. Normally on a hunt, what I'll say is like, I don't care what happens. This is gonna work out. I don't care what I have to overcome. Eventually, because I won't quit, it's gonna work out. So we just needed more opportunity. If that one didn't work, good. We got to earn another one. And that was all day. More opportunity.
More music.
More music. Yeah. More Carly Simon, You're So Vain. And then also
9 Inch Nails.
Closer. That's such a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that turned the tide. That song. We got in the zone.
Yeah, we also learned, I learned a lot about Oregon history. I learned about, the history of the town that we were in, Powers, like met people from the town. Like there's a lot about this experience that goes way beyond like the hunting.
Yeah.
And I think that is pretty cool too.
I wanted to share, I know it was like nonstop, babbling basically from me, but I wanted to share, and I've tried to, anybody who I've talked to about this hunt, I said, I want to share with you how I grew up hunting, because I'm from a small town like Powers. I'm from a town where people, that's what they do. They work in the woods. It's just blue collar. There's not a ton of it just is what it is, but it's hard work, but they have a lot of pride in it. and loggers and people who work in the woods, they have a lot of pride in what they do. And I love that. And I want to share that. So we talked about logging. We talked about the timber industry. We talked about the spotted owl. We talked about how environmental factors have changed logging over the years. We talked about, second growth, old growth, reprod, logging units, building roads, like the art of building roads. Mm-hmm. We talked about how back in the day, those logs were extracted from the mountains on rail car powered by coal. And so there was guys cutting wood all day to power coal engines to get logs out of the woods, to get them to the river where they'd be pushed by a barge to the mill. We talked about the history of all of them, and nobody thinks or really cares about the men that do work like that, but they love their wood house. They love the wood furniture, the wood doors, the beauty of wood, and there's a lot that goes into timber. And so I was so excited for anybody. But you remind me of when I shared, where I grew up with Chris Williamson, because he's like what somebody would say is an intellectual and has a different way of interpreting that lifestyle. And that's why I love sharing it. But in this specifically with you, as I said, as a wordsmith, you have a different way of putting things. But yeah, so I loved, it seems like a nonstop, I don't know, not a history lesson, but just sharing what's important to me. And that's why I wanted that. But also, I'm a hunter. Mm-hmm. So the journey of a hunter isn't to kill, but that's part of the journey. Mm-hmm. And that's, you can't finish your journey without the kill. And so to be a hunter, I think you need to kill an animal, get that meat out of the mountains, and provide to those you love. Mm-hmm. To have an explanation, or to have a period on the end of the story, to have a conclusion, we needed a buck. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that last hunt.
Mm-hmm. So we came to the place that is your favorite place.
It is.
And I don't know why we don't go to your favorite place first, but I think it was because there was a journey to go through.
I did not want, just like with Cheeto, I did not want the hunt to end too soon, because to appreciate what it takes, we needed all the failures.
Yeah.
We needed all the experience.
Yeah. Well, we got there and it was, I think it was raining. Yeah, it was raining. That's good in this world. Mm-hmm. And then we found an area and we were glassing, which is a new term for me. I think middle school girls should say they're glassing at the school dance to find hot guys, but I guess that's a really weird thing to say. You should delete that.
It's about the same.
I know. So we were glassing, and I'm not the best at it, but I always try. I'm always like, okay, just try to do the thing. And then you found a buck laying on the side of like a mountain underneath like this log next to a neon looking tree. And I didn't see it at all with my naked eye. I didn't see it until I was in the scope, which took me a second, because usually it's nice if you can see something with your naked eye and then you pull the binoculars. That's more oriented for me. So it was kind of disorienting to find it only through the scope.
Right.
And I guess I don't know so many things. I don't know what 40 yards means based on the scope. Like, I don't know a lot. So we were using descriptors that were useful. And I think it's interesting when you put yourself in a really, intense team situation. It's not about doing everything. It's about what works for the team. And so we were speaking about this neon tree and the Christmas tree and the log in terms of like helping me find where this animal was. And so I found it. And then there's a way that you want, there's a way we were hoping the animal would be facing, and there was an orientation that I would have where I would be best situated to like be confident.
And be steady.
And I was actually crouched down, and I'm strong, but being that crouched, sometimes you're like shaking a bit. And so I was like, it's not that I'm going to fall. It's that I'm not steady enough to hold the what is it called?
Scope, the float.
No, the float.
Mm-hmm.
The float. And so you made the call to switch me to sitting on my butt and having a log.
On the bipod.
On the bipod.
Yeah, so we started, you were on your knees, and we had the tripod, and had the gun in it. And to me, that seemed like too much of a lever, because we didn't, like when you shot off the bench at 300 yards, the stock of the rifle was supported also. So it was very secure. In this situation with the tripod, there's a lever there. The stock of the scope is only in your shoulder, but not supported. That means you can move around a lot. Then you said, well, your legs were getting tired, or your back or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, because it took a little while to get that, to find that buck. It had been like a few minutes by this time. And generally bucks don't hang around that long. And especially this time of year, they're cruising. I didn't know he had a hot doe, a doe in heat there. She was bedded. We couldn't see him. I thought he was just going to go across that hillside and be gone out of our lives. So I'm like, okay, we've got to hustle. We've got to hustle. Are you on it? Are you on it? I'm like, where's the green tree? Green tree. Oh, the neon tree. 40 yards. What's 40? You don't know what 40 yards. You know what probably 40 yards is right here, maybe in the driveway, or a 40-yard dash, but not 300 yards away on the side of a hill. What is 40 yards over there? I was taking for granted everybody knew what references and distance and things meant, but we didn't. So that took a little bit. Then the setup wasn't perfect. So I was like, okay, I told Kevin, I said, give me a big log. I want to get her on the bipod. So we got on the bipod, got you on your butt. Then that seemed way more secure. But then we had the issue with the eye.
Oh yeah, my eye. Okay, I don't know. I got to talk to my eye doctor about this. But basically, like, when I closed my left eye, my right eye, it was like coming in and out. Like it was like literally blacking out and then coming back in as if I couldn't see out of it, which must have meant that I was trying to open my left eye or something. And then you were covering my left eye. So my eye was really like, I didn't feel freaked out. I just felt I had like a mechanical, like a doll where the eye, like one's open. What is it in Toy Story? There's like that broken doll.
Didn't Katy Perry's eye do that after she went to space? Like on a...
Yes, I felt like one of those somewhere in the spectrum of a Toy Story. Yeah, I was in a Toy Story doll to the Katy Perry eye. And so but meanwhile, anytime I had vision properly, I just tried to keep that step going, because that step of having the float in the proper place was like the step I was on, right? Yeah. Everything else was situated. And so once that was like set, like no matter if my eye was coming in and out of vision, I still had the float properly. That step was like solid. Mm-hmm. And so once my vision came to, which I think was you covering my other eye properly, mm-hmm. and just a bit of time, then I was ready. And, you're ignorant enough to not know how not ready you might be. Yeah. But I was ready for a freshman. Yeah. And I think that I don't know if it's like nature or nurture that like brought me to that point, like to be that ready. Mm-hmm. And I am interested in like the dynamic between nature and nurture, because of like things I've discovered as I'm older that I wasn't raised with, and losing my mom young. I think there's just parts of me that are from her that I can only discover by living life and following my curiosity, which was part of wanting to meet you in person and do this together. And I think in that moment, though, I felt quite confident and as certain as I was going to be. And I think as certain as anyone would have been in that, as certain as I could have been. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe that's what hunting is too, is like you're as certain as you can be. Mm-hmm. There's always nature. Yeah, there's always unpredictableness. Yeah. Yeah. And I was particularly thankful for the training for understanding the angles and how to like most like, you know, to do it in a way that was like most respectful and proper and
ethical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and then, we did it, and it was, and I guess I'm not bad.
You're amazing. So let me think. Covering your eye, if I just was lightly pushing on your eye, I could feel it trying to blink. So I had to actually push on your eyeball.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, that's good. And that would somehow kick this eye into working better. So I'm like this, and I told Kevin, because I can't do this and glass. So I said, Kevin, watch where the shot goes. And you felt, when you say I'm good, we realize that means it's on. You're ready to go. And slow squeeze, feel both stages of that trigger, and you can hear a bullet hit. And I'm like, that's a hit. And the buck, as I said, almost immediately dead, down. And it was a perfect shot. You seem reflective. What are you thinking?
Well, I just have the whole, like, there's this, I don't know that this is really your audience, but there's always that like conversation in your head of like, I think I just like grew in real time. I think this nothing to do with your audience. I think I think, to start the sentence over, I think that I think I grew in real time, because there are very few things in my life where when I say I'm good, I mean it in the present, and I mean that I already have I have certainty. Mm-hmm. So we talked about this, but I'll share again that most things in my life, when I say I can do it, I haven't done it yet. And I know you said, well, you hadn't actually done it yet, but I meant I had done everything I could do to be ready for the moment where I said I'm good.
Right.
And it's very cool to feel like that you are saying something with certainty, because you are certain, not you're 99% certain. You're very, very certain, but like you're certain. And I did feel certain, and I think I grew in real time, because I think I like the part of me that gives myself opportunities to be certain and be confident and contribute to teams. Like, I think that that's a part of myself that I
Tell me another
like.
example of you having that certainty.
There's very few.
Have you ever been that certain about something before?
The only thing I could tell you is if I was already carrying something and someone said, are you good? But even then, if I was like carrying a heavy object across my house, for example, if I say I'm good, I still don't actually know if I'll still be good in the next step and in the next step. This, I really meant that like it had been done, like the hovering, like it wasn't going to change.
Yeah. So this might be the only time you've ever been this certain?
I think so. I mean, I think I'm very like, I'm certain I could like finish a marathon, you know, but
what if your body says no?
You're right. You don't know.
Yeah.
So this is a thing. Yeah, this was certain. Mm-hmm. And because there's so few opportunities to be certain like that in life, I guess we probably aren't used to it. Mm-hmm. And so it could probably trick us, and humans may not let themselves feel certainty because we so infrequently do.
Yeah. We don't know what it's like.
Yeah, we don't know what it's like. Yeah. You were saying, that feeling of, like of confidence and of, I just kept feeling like a rascal, which is like who I really feel like I am
Tell
in
me,
life.
define, because you've said that a number of times. What is a rascal to you?
Oh, I'm a rascal. A rascal is like, a gamer. A rascal's a gamer. A rascal like just kind of doesn't, like my rascal self like my heart is good and does what it takes, but is like, it's fundamentally good. Mm-hmm. So like, even if it's mischief, it's good mischief.
Okay.
So I think rascals are like good.
Yeah. They're up to something, but it's not mischievous.
Yeah, it's like, I know you say you're not book smart, but in A Midsummer Night's Dream, the Shakespeare play, there's a character called Puck. Puck is mischievous good. So Puck like switches the love potions and causes all this chaos. And that's kind of like the kind of mischief I like to get into. And that's sort of the rascal energy. A rascal's not afraid to get dirty and be in the mud and do what it takes. The rascal's probably going to fall down and get scabs. The rascal has other people's back. The rascal will say yes till they can't anymore. And I think a rascal's pretty honest.
Yeah. Well, so you were certain. I wasn't certain. And when you shot, I was like, I had to be convinced that I saw what I saw because it was perfect. And I'm like, looking, I'm like, is that Buck? Is it he laying right there? So I took off like, I don't know, as fast as I can sprint, all the way around, all the way down to the other landing to get a better angle. And sure as anything, that Buck's laying there dead. I mean, it was immediate, perfect, absolutely perfect shot. What I remember, what I will never forget is, because I took off sprinting and was gone. And then you and Kevin coming down the road, and like from maybe 100 yards, I like go like this, and then I go like this, like a hug, and you like sprinted for 100 yards and freaking full speed into me, and we hugged, and I'm like, you got your first buck, and that was like probably one of the most beautiful moments, for sure in hunting, because hunting is usually just a guy thing, but it's like that moment. How did that feel? I was proud, relieved, happy. I was a lot. It was a beautiful moment, but also surprised because that is a 260-yard shot on your butt on a bipod of a wild animal that's moving, and you absolutely was perfect. That was amazing.
Well, I still think I have to like process it for a bit, because there's like an athletic side of me that's like, hell yeah, like it's good. I'm competitive like you are, so it's nice to be good at something. And then there's a part of you that wants to be included and feels, I mean, look, it's a tradition. And I didn't like grow up with so many traditions. And so like when I get welcomed into a tradition, which has happened in a handful of times in my life, it's really special for me.
Yeah.
Like your family like raised you, like it's like, I respect that these are like, this is important to you, and that there's a whole community, and that, so to feel like included, I don't know. I think there's also kind of an orphan energy in my rascalness.
Right.
And
wanting to belong.
Wanting to belong. And like, I'm trying to like live a really big, brave life, and not because I want to be different. I don't even want to be what I am, but I am what I am. And I think that I have no choice but to be me. And that makes me a rascal, because I think it's a combination of circumstance and my whatever nature inside.
Are you emotional?
Yeah. Well, because it is like being like included makes me feel like I can go be my like rascal self, and I have like a friend in you, and I also like have this whole world that I know kind of is going to do this whether I'm a part of it or not, right? And I imagine you like being in the woods and living your big awesome life, and I know you're there even if I can't see you. That's like a metaphor and literal. And then to know that I like, I don't know, it's just something like really cool about knowing that you have sort of you're a little bit a part of a very rich community, and a person that you really admire. And when we did go down and see the buck, you were very, very slow and thoughtful about talking about how much this means and the respect. and the process and the ritual. And I really understood it like fully. And I think that what's hard is like, I don't know that I can articulate to other people that I'm going to go talk to as well as you can. But I hope that people understand, you know, your perspective on it, because I certainly did by being around you.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a weight to killing.
Yeah.
It's, I talked about when I first started hunting, I didn't understand that. I was young. But now I understand, you know, it's life, it's death. It's, you know, we can't be here without causing death. Hunters take that literal, and we provide and we kill, and that's what hunting is. But people kill every day to survive, but they don't do it personally. They pay somebody to do it for them. And people will say, well, you could, you know, be a vegan, you could do that. And you know, we always talk about this. I've talked about it ad nauseum. It doesn't matter what you do. You're causing death. But I respect somebody who can take ownership over that and literally have blood on their hands and say, yes, I did this. And there's a lot of gravity, and there's a lot of, this is very meaningful, and an animal died by my hands. Even just saying that is hard for people. Mm-hmm. Even just acknowledging that is hard for most people. Hunters do it, and it is a tradition. And we wouldn't be here if our ancestors didn't hunt. And people say, well, that was a time long ago. It's like, well, no, because I've done it my whole life. So that's time right now. And also for this whole thing to work, as I explained to you, we saw 2 bear, you know, right, not far from your kill. If we didn't kill deer, that there has to be a balance, and hunters are the only ones who can understand that balance, and everything has to work together. It's a harmony out there. And all I know is that man has hunted since the beginning of time. We still do it. And to do it correctly, I think is how life is supposed to be lived. Does everybody need to hunt? No, you don't have to. Do you have to understand why hunting is important and necessary and what it means to this fabric of humanity? You can understand that. You don't have to do it, but you can understand it. So all I know, you made a great shot. That animal didn't suffer. We honored the animal, and we're going to honor the animal. You're going to honor it forever by having that memory on the wall with those antlers. We have the meat. We took great care of the meat. The meat was perfectly clean. This morning we had back straps and tenderloins and potatoes and eggs, and it was amazing. We're getting the rest of the meat processed, and you're going to eat it, and you're going to share it with your community. That's what it means to be a hunter. A hunter is a provider. We've always been providers in our community. Not everybody hunts, but everybody relies on hunters to provide. And when a hunter is successful, the community rejoices because we have something to eat. You're a hunter, you're a provider, and you understand what that means. And that was an honor to share that with you.
Oh, you're a really great friend and a great coach, and I think I'll be absorbing it for a long time. Just what we talked about, because you don't really have the words for everything you feel. So I think I don't have all the words, but I'm gonna try to go a little slower. For it's the holidays are coming, and I think some of what I like about that time is like to be able to like slow down a little bit and absorb the enormity of my experiences. Because otherwise, I think we can have opportunities to grow and we can stay the same. And I think I think I've done a lot of growing this year, but I could reflect and let it be more real.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you because I definitely ask a lot of questions, and I definitely am aware of the contradiction in even you know, some people I know are so like they eat meat for most of their meals, but they don't want to like participate in hunting, and I get that. But once you talk to them, it's like I think once they learn that it's so different than like the animals in captivity, the lives. I mean, you didn't even have us. You made sure that it had to be an old buck. That was, you didn't mention that, but you're very like certain that these animals live their full wild life, and then don't get like mauled by another animal, I guess is one of the alternatives.
Well, if it's not death by a bullet or an arrow, it's going to be slow and painful. There is no other type of death in the wild. They're not getting struck by lightning very often. Probably has happened, but it's not generally how it goes. Generally, it's starving or a bear or a lion. Lots of lions in this country, and it's going to be, and there's no compassion in the wild. So as I said, you know, it's going to be much slower and more excruciating if it's not by the hand of a hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. And nature, Mother Nature is undefeated is what Kevin said.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I still think I got to think about that one.
Yeah. We react to Mother Nature. We have no say in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I got to know you, and I think that's like really, really awesome. Like we're like, I don't think we're unlikely friends actually in the end of the day, but definitely like thankful that there was a way for us to like do something together that let me spend time with you and like really understand how you grew up. And you're just like very generous in a way that like with telling those stories, and like people, you don't have to share this. You could just do it. And sharing it means that I get to know you.
Well, I feel very lucky.
Yeah.
I feel very lucky for the time we spent and to be able to introduce you into this tradition of hunting. It's this enriches my life, you know, more than I could put into words, because I know like 10 words, and how I feel is outside of those 10. So, this has been amazing. I can't think of a more enjoyable hunt I've had recently. So I'm very, very thankful for you. You're an amazing person. You're an incredible young lady. And it was great. But James has some questions for you too.
Okay.
We call him the Peanut Gallery.
Okay, cool.
These are going to seem out of place.
Okay, great.
You guys
Are
did
they
answer a couple of them, but
Okay.
Well, first we have a tradition of a certain question.
Great.
And it
This
is
definitely will be much different than our discussion.
It is Marry, Kill. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, wow. I've never played this game.
Okay, so
I have a more wholesome audience.
Yeah, what's the opposite of wholesome? That's our audience.
Yeah, okay. I can do that.
okay, so
Okay.
Let's see how varied you are.
Okay.
your Marry, Kill is film,
What?
film, writing, and running.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, but but I've never played the game before. Okay, so is it just random?
No, so
oh my God.
So Mary, you're with that thing for the rest of your life.
Okay. So
It's for fun.
It's like a one-night hookup.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
And kill is you're done with it forever.
oh, what?
Yeah.
But you gave me 3 words that I would
No, you have to choose. That's a game. So you have to make a decision. What are you going to do for the rest of your life? What are you doing like a one-night fling? And what are you never doing again of those 3?
What?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
You can. You're going to have to.
You have to,
That's the
actually.
game.
But I'm a multi-hyphenate. So
Take-
I'm going to do them all.
Maybe this ketone will help.
Okay, Michael Ketones.
Michael Brandt.
Michael Brandt Ketones.
Okay. Please give her brain strength right now.
No, I don't want to do this.
You have to. It's the game.
We
But-
actually can't let you out of here until you
Okay,
answer.
well, here's the thing. Okay, I know. I'm smart enough to say that I've tried to kill running, so I can say kill and it won't be dead. So running, I can say kill because it will never die. Ha ha ha. And then, wait, that's
Yeah.
because I didn't know if had a positive or negative association.
Positive.
No, you said
But it's a one night stand.
Yeah.
So kill is running because it will never die.
No, kill, you're done with forever.
She's trying to cheat the game.
I'm
You
telling
can't.
you, it won't die. I can't kill running. It will
What do
keep
you want to
going.
do for the rest of your life of those three? That's a marry.
But I know I will run and write for the rest of my life.
No, you won't. Not after this game.
Don't curse me. I don't want to be cursed on this game.
It's just a game. It's for fun.
Yeah, but I take everything seriously.
I know you do.
No. You're going to learn something about me. I take it very seriously. Like yesterday, I was like fully immersed in that world.
Okay, listen.
I'm getting f***ed up because of this.
How about, okay,
I
listen.
hate this.
Let's change this game
No,
to...
I want to be myself. I'm going to say kill running. It will never die. So I'm saying kill running because
Okay.
it will never die.
All right.
I know it. It's a ghost. It's everywhere. Okay, kill running. It will never die. And then is the one night thing.
Yeah.
Okay, movies because I have a really big one that I'm about to make, and then maybe I'll move on to the television world. Who knows?
Okay, now we're talking. See, this is a
Okay,
game.
I'm smart. And then marry writing because I'll never stop writing.
Okay.
And that one I do need to marry because it won't come back to life. Like if you don't write every day, here's for the Cameron Haynes listeners that want to be a writer in secret. You got to do it every day. It's
Where's
a practice.
your book? You are a writer. Where's your book? Where is
It's
that?
back there.
Oh, Bravey.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah, blow my shit up, Cam.
Get Alexi's book. So I guarantee people who listen to this will be like, "Holy shit! I want to learn more about this girl. She's amazing." Right there.
Read Bravey.
Cameron's 17.
I'm writing a new one right now too. Okay, what's the
What's
next
that gonna be
question?
called?
Okay.
Something about being a verb and not a noun. It might be called like I'm a verb, not a noun. Not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about change.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm excited. There's so much shit about my life that nobody
It should
knows.
be called Becoming a Hunter.
What's the next question?
This is not really a reoccurring theme, but we've talked about it because there's a inside story. But I read somewhere that one of your kind of hobbies is you like to do improv comedy. So we want to know what your Kill Tony minute is.
I don't know what that is.
So Kill Tony is Tony Hitchcliffe. He's a comedian.
Okay.
He pulls names out of the hat and they get on stage for 1 minute and then they critique the minute. So do you have a minute bit you can tell us?
Like I have to do a bit
Yeah,
for
right
you.
now. Go.
This is not a good segment for me. I
Make
have
us
to do
laugh.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's the thing. That's not what improv comedy is. This is sketch comedy. I'm not a sketch comedian, but I'll try.
Okay. Your book is called Bravey, so that means you're brave.
Yeah, I guess I'm brave. Okay. Well, okay, let me just think for a second.
You're a funny guy. Tell a joke.
I know it's the worst. I'm really not that funny. I'm really not. Well, I something about like how I didn't do any of the normal things that 20-year-olds did growing up because I was training really, really hard for the Olympics. So while you were doing X, I was doing Y, meaning while you were doing ecstasy and going to Burning Man, I was at the YMCA lifting weights.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's my joke. I don't want to put that on the so bad. I hate this.
No, that was actually so we just got to kind of tighten it up.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. I like it. While
Yes,
you're doing
while you were
X,
doing X,
I was at the Y.
doing Y.
Right.
Meaning while you were doing ecstasy and hanging out with your friends and sleeping around and doing normal 20-year-old things, I was at the YMCA lifting weights.
That's good.
Good.
See?
Wow.
Okay.
Horrible.
All right. Last one. This one's more serious. This one's
love
more
this
serious.
segment. Oh no, I can't be. Okay, yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
It's like I can't be like wearing my sponsor saying all this. This is not good.
Okay. If we have to, we can take those out. But this one's a good one, I promise.
Okay.
All right. So again, we've kind of talked about, well, I mentioned it once, how people like to identify as whatever hobby they're into or even their job. Like, I'm a runner, I'm a climber, I'm a carpenter. And you talk about depression after the Olympics and kind of finding out who you are outside of running. So how important do you think it is to know yourself at a core level without the tangible outside things?
100%. You are not. I actually don't even know if I agree with you saying that you're a hunter. I think you hunt. Because I don't even think I guess I'm a runner, I'm a writer, and but I'm just Alexi.
Yeah.
And I think you're just Cam. And you hunt. And I know this is in contradiction to everything you say.
Right.
But it helps me a lot to know that I'm Alexi. And that anything I do is just what I do. And what's nice for me is that means that anything I choose to do every day is a real present choice. It wasn't just like a continuation of yesterday. So if I pick up and I'm writing today, I'm not writing because I'm a writer. I'm writing because I write. And so
But I don't do anything else but hunt.
but you're still Cameron Haynes.
No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You are such a unique and vibrant human that is you do a lot more than hunt. You just don't think you do a lot more than hunt. You're like a very much more than a one descriptor. That's a big way you spend your time and what you're thinking about. But I think
This
you're
is
like
my podcast. You can do this on your podcast.
I know these people are
screwing me.
your audience hates
You're
me.
screwing me over.
Okay, well, so it's really important that people have something outside of their the answer to the
that's
question.
a great point. That's a great point.
It's
just not true for me. But yes.
We're not getting along anymore. It's really important to have these other.
This is our first speed bump in our relationship.
No, I don't even care to be right. You can be a hunter if you want. I just see you as your name because I think that's the right thing to do as your friend. Because what if you came to me and you're like, what if you came to me and you were challenged? Like, I need to just like embrace you as just human Cam Haynes first. Mm-hmm. I need to see you as like just you.
Okay.
That's the best way for, I don't know. Oh, because it lets you, I think it's a kind way to let you evolve and change. Like, you'll probably hunt forever, but you don't even know who you're going to be in 10 years. And I'm sure you'll still be hunting, but
I'll probably be dead. I'm so old.
No. What? You keep saying you're old and like stupid. You have body dysmorphia. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
that's not very supportive.
Oh, sorry. You have an inaccurate view of yourself. Okay. I thought these quick fires were going to be like spaghetti or meat sauce or like whatever, like blue or red or something like silly.
Okay. Well, we could switch gears then because I'm going to.
Sorry. Do you want to redo all of them?
No.
What's the dentist's favorite time of the day? 2:30. 2:30. Has nothing to do with me.
That's that. Okay, we can leave that one. No, we're leaving all these in. These are good.
No, it's not good.
No, they're really good.
It's not good.
So I'm gonna since you're a hunter now, I'm gonna read some comments that we got on when I was packing out your buck, and I want to get because I don't think you understand the whole hunting crowd. I'm not saying
no, I don't. You're right.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying they're misguided maybe sometimes. Okay, so I want to get your opinion on a comment or a couple comments. Let's see. This is all positive so far. Let's go. Hammers, that's good. This guy says, do you field dress them first to reduce weight a little? And then somebody says, absolutely, if you're not afraid of a little blood on your back. So what they're saying is that like I didn't gut it out. Like, remember when I took the guts out?
Yeah.
Saying I didn't do that because I was afraid of blood. What do you say to that?
That you had blood all over yourself.
Yeah.
And that you did gut it. And one of the reasons why you gut it is because other animals can eat that.
Yeah. Those bear that we saw, they're probably eating the guts right now.
They're eating the guts. And then you carried it up the steepest hill I've ever climbed on my own feet and hands.
Okay, well, this is another one.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I don't know how the hell you do that. That's incredibly hard, blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, lots of breaks. Like I took lots of breaks. Tell me about the
breaks.
Yeah.
No, the light was disappearing. There was no break at all. And in fact, you could have stopped like 400 meters earlier and pulled the car up, but you didn't want to do that. So I would have had to take many breaks, but you didn't take any.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I'm like responding to these people factually. Like, you also just want to be like, no, like, trolls are going to be trolls. Are they? Do they listen to this podcast? Because
yeah,
you think
normally
so?
Your biggest haters listen and watch everything you do.
Really?
They're obsessed. But anyway,
Wow.
so this guy says haters only talk shit because they can't do it. Then this other guy says, what's the purpose of carrying what you don't have to? So, and then somebody said, for views, all he cares about is views. So tell me, did I say film me so we can get a bunch of views? Did you hear me say that?
Well, no, you didn't say that. But also, like, can people stop like hating on people like who have like a social media presence and aren't have a good heart and are paying their bills and are sponsored? Like, what is do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do this on principle. You will carry out no matter what, if there's a camera or not.
What was our option there, do you think?
Oh,
Could we have driven there?
No, we actually didn't have another option.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they said if they don't have to. Yeah, you did have to. I think people think that you have like 80 people with you at all times.
Maybe.
Because there are some like really big public people who do have like a entourage with them at all time.
Maybe.
But I don't think an entourage could keep up with you.
Yeah.
I could barely keep up with you.
Let's see. What about the tick and fleas jumping onto you now? What do you say about that?
So you tried to remove as many ticks as possible, and then we had to do a full tick check in the rain.
Yeah.
And then you had to do another tick check when we got back to the house before showering. And so you are running the risk of ticks.
Yeah. But did we have any on us?
No, we were actually, we were great.
Okay. Let's see. I think there's one more here, so I should be able to find something. Field dress it first. Yes, we did field dress it. I don't know what they expect to see, but it must be nice. Here we are. Check yourself for ticks. Nah, I'm good. I'll take the meat and a pack and the head. So they're saying like I could have done something. I guess we could have broke it down there, but to me, I'm like, why when I can just carry it, right? Oh yeah. This says out of the camera view is the ATV.
No ATV. We were like in the middle of nowhere. There was 3 of us and one of them was a ferry.
So yeah, anyway, I wanted to, that's the kind of comments that we get sometimes. Like people are just, so I thought since you were like, aren't in this world, you'd give a very honest review of how it went. But
these people, I just want to give you a hug.
No, a kick in the balls, you meant. I mean, isn't that what you meant?
I mean, I guess like I don't have that kind of like aggressive thoughts right now, but I like no, because they would beat me back up. They would
You're an athlete.
No, I just genuinely think that
they're idiots.
They're just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if they're uncomfortable,
I'm just joking.
yeah, I want them to have a good life and like
Me too.
And maybe take a more abundant perspective and just try and like it's not a scarcity, like you're opening people's eyes up that they could do what you're doing too if they feel compelled to.
Right.
So you're not saying that you can do it and they can't.
I've never said that. Yeah.
You actually are trying to get people to kind of follow suit or invite them to.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. Did you have a thought? Okay.
Yeah. Here's what I have to say to you people. The haters are, they're, what's the word? Hold on. It's,
Yeah.
No. It's like it's not the word cliche, but it's like that. They're a trope. Like they're being exact in their role. They're playing themselves perfectly. And it's kind of predictable. And that I think is sort of lame.
Yeah. Because who wants to be predictable?
Yeah. It's like they're being a cliche.
Yeah.
They're being a cliche. Do they realize that?
No, hell no. Do you think they know what cliche means?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they do.
Do I?
I'm not.
What does cliche?
It means like they're being what you would think a hater would be.
Right.
Like it's not a nuanced perspective. If a hater was actually like showing some respect or something, I don't know. I'm trying to I should just give them a hug.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't. It's all good. I understand. It's like, as I explained to you, hunting is, it's a male dominated endeavor, and there's egos involved, and everybody feels like it's like have you heard, maybe you haven't heard of this, but it's a dick measuring contest sometimes for some people. Like they think like somebody's success is a personal indictment on on them. And it has nothing to do with them. It's like, we had a great day. I had to get the buck up the hill. I feel like I prepare every day to do that. That's I told you. I said I'm good at one thing, and that's carrying heavy things up a mountain. And so I'm just doing what I do. And it's like, I'm not trying to say you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, or I'm just showing my life. I shared an amazing day with you, and that's just part of it. And we let you in on it, and because it was incredible. That's all. I'm not saying you have to love it or hate it, but it's not fake. I mean, it was 100% real every second of the day. And it wasn't like we never said anything. We didn't film hardly anything, or we took a few photos, but it's like, this is just a beautiful experience. And yeah, here's a few clips from it.
Yeah. I think if people understood that you don't have to do any of it, but you're choosing it, then they would, you're not a desperate person.
No.
So if they could just understand that Cam Hanes is not desperate, then they might see all of your behaviors a little bit differently.
As I said, it's men are competitive, and sometimes that competition elicits different emotions. I should say that.
Nice. Well, I find that very entertaining.
Well, I find you entertaining, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cam. And sorry I'm not a better comedian.
I thought your joke was good. I liked it.
Can't.
I liked the delivery of it, because it was like, that
I'm
was
horrified.
Yeah, you're just I like your humility. I like your it was just fun. But
I'm not good at everything. I know he put that in there just so you guys would know I was good at this. I'm not good at this. It's
right, that's why we did it.
Makes people less uncomfortable.
Actually, that was scripted.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you didn't want people to be too intimidated by you, so you had to show you struggling with something. Is that what that was on purpose?
Yeah, give me a joke that I can't tell. Oh my god.
Well, thank you, Alexi.
You.
This was I had a great time with you. I can't wait to come down to LA and do your podcast and go on a run and
do the Burning Man ultra marathon together.
And do that too. Yeah, we're going to do it all. But yeah, again, thank you. This has been great. And thanks for everybody for listening. Check out Alexi. Check out her book. She is one of a kind, and you'll learn that once you find out more about her.
Read Bravey.
Thank you.
Bye.
Keep hammering.
Someone to blame, they sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the to change. The few endure, feeling like Cam Hanes. Oh, give me the Mars, nobody wants. I'll give you my heart, I came here to work.